home to Pinot Noir, and a young vintage now heading into the ring in the form of Mikey Faragon from Albany, New York, who is 15-0 at 24 years old. He has taken on Ira Terry in a scheduled 6-round bout. And there is Ira Terry, who began boxing as a young guy, just 7 years old, had 100 amateur fights, most of his work taking place down in the South, Tennessee and Mississippi. In fact, he's been knocked out 3 straight fights, once against Carlos Velasquez back in April 2010. This is just his second fight of 2011. He was knocked out in the 3rd round against Michael Perez in Puerto Rico back in May. And now he takes on the tough challenge of Mikey Faragon. Good reception for Mikey. Back in 07, he was the #1 ranked amateur in the United States at 141 pounds, a 3-time New York Golden Gloves champion. He turned pro in 2007. That was on the undercard of Cotto Mosley and had a decision win back there. And boy, does he have a baby face. 5'9", 134 3/4 pounds, and a 15-0 record for Mikey Faragon. Raul Caiz Sr., the referee.
You're fine. Both your trunks are again high. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you guys.
So a little TV exposure time for Mikey Faragon, as our first fight was truncated. We had that bad clash of heads, and Cristobal Cruz and Art Hovhannissian went to a technical decision split draw.
Truncated, good word.
Joe Tessitore and Sergio Mora ringside. Sergio is filling in for Teddy Atlas. Teddy in Russia, training his heavyweight, Alexander Povetkin.
This is going to be a good fight. I could tell already.
What do you see this early in a fight when you have that learned eye? 30 seconds into a fight, you can say the styles match up.
Styles match up really good. I could see it already. The counter punching, the way they're moving their feet, the distance they have. They're kind of similar in a way. I think obviously Babyface is undefeated, but Ira Terry has a lot of experience, but they're throwing similar punches. They have similar stance. This is going to be a good fight.
Lead right hand by Faragon, countered by Terry. Terry comes in with a left hook to the body and then a right hand up top.
Both of them are throwing similar punches, similar counters, and they're both blocking similarly.
Let him go, Mike.
I've never liked fighters that jump in with body shots. I think that's the only flaw I see so far from Terry.
When you're opposite a guy who consistently does that, what are you thinking? How are you thinking of creating an opportunity for yourself?
Well, when he jumps in with a body shot, it's just not effective. I mean, it's rarely effective. And you can easily counter somebody with his hands down because you're aiming lower. I mean, if you're jumping into the head, that's different because you got to put your hands up to block. But when you're just blocking your body, you can just easily come up with uppercuts or hooks.
Terry showing that jab there against Faragon. Faragon now steps in a little closer and fires off.
We said this was going to be a test for Faragon, and it is going to be a test. Maybe not physically, but mentally. I could see these fighters thinking a lot. Like I said, they're similar. They're throwing similar punches, similar jabs. They're fearing the same punches. Once they let go, they're already worried about what's coming back. And that's a sign of intelligence and not recklessness.
Faragon testing that belt line as Terry tried to get out of the way, and then he blocks that right hand, able to parry away that assault. Terry touches him with the jab. Faragon a little more the aggressor here in the last 30 seconds of round number 1. Our 6-round lightweight swing bout. Ira Terry, Mikey Faragon. Stay with us.
Stop.
Tim Coleman, Vernon Paris coming up in our main event. Jaime Mota standing by with the 24-0 Vernon Paris.
Vernon, all the trash talking been done. Time to get down to business. What do you need to do to take care of Tim Coleman like you say you're going to do?
Well, I'm just going to go out there and stick to the game plan, use my jab, use my speed, my footwork, my defense. You know, like I said, move to my right, stay away from his right hand, and, you know, throw punches, use my jab, and just show him that I'm just a way better fighter than he is.
How have things changed in the last 3 days since you found out that Floyd Mayweather Sr. was not going to be in your corner?
Well, it's not that I didn't know this before. It was already, you know, thought that we wasn't going to really, that he might be in my corner or he might not be in my corner. Really, we just came out here to get some new kind of training and learn some new things, which is exactly what we did.
All right, well, good luck tonight. Back to you.
Thanks, Jaime. That is Vernon Paris calm with Jaime, but when we get done with this fight of Terry and Faragon and we get ready to set up the main event, you are going to hear some of the explosive comments that Paris and Coleman have been sending off all week long. That's still coming your way. Terry trying to get on the offensive here awkwardly. Faragon uses it as an opportunity to go to the body with 3 shots there, then turns around, lands a good sharp right hand on that belt line, does the undefeated Mikey Faragon.
Hands are free. Pick him up, pick him up.
The first round, even though it was a fill-out round, Faragon was the one coming forward, and maybe he looked a little bit like the more experienced fighter. So I gave him the first round, but this round is picking up, and it's pretty similar. They're still throwing the same punches, the same body shots. It's like they're fighting in front of the mirror.
Heavy concentration on the body shots. Joe Tessitore ringside with recent world titleist Sergio Mora in for Teddy Atlas this week. You said it early on, the matchups appear to be pretty conducive to a good-looking scrap. There's a left hook by Mikey Faragon. Then he goes to the body with one.
Faragon landed a great left hook that actually, I think, hurt Terry. So
I think Terry's hurt.
He's hurt to the body. He landed a great body shot, and that's why he's landing those solid shots
up there. Look at Faragon come on strong now with headshots. Terry definitely affected by that body shot and trying to survive this onslaught. Faragon picking up on it, but staying in control of it as well.
Which is very impressive for a kid that's only 24 years old and 15-0. It was a great left hook to the body. He's staying poised. He knows he has 3 or 4 more rounds to finish this guy. Terry looks exhausted. He has no legs. It's amazing what one body shot does to the legs. Look at his knees, how they're not as strong as they were before that shot.
Break. Stop. Break. Let's go.
Good looking second round for Mikey Faragon. 15-0 fighter from Albany, New York.
He's hurt. He's hurt to the body. Faragon landed another straight right hand to the body.
And there's a left hook up top. And a right hand follows as Terry backs up now. Remember, Terry has been knocked out in 3 straight fights. Faragon's going to make it 4. TKO victory for Mikey Faragon.
Mikey Faragon looked really impressive there. He looked like a seasoned fighter. Now he's 16-0, 7 knockouts, great body shots. That's what made this fight interesting for his part, because he's not an experienced fighter, but he was punching the body like an experienced fighter.
Keep in mind the level of competition that Ira Terry has been facing and fighting in weaker commission states as a traveling dog throughout the Southeast. Comes out here to California, and his 4th straight loss by knockout, put forth a sincere effort while it lasted. It was a good-looking scrap, and then Faragon took advantage. The more skilled, the better athlete. He comes up with the win. What do you like about Faragon as we take a look back at how he closed the show here?
Well, first of all, I like the fact that he's a good-looking kid. The baby face assassin. He's throwing great body shots, solid left hooks. They were throwing the same punches, but once he landed that left hook, Terry's legs just gave out. They got a little buckly, and right there you could see him hurting and flinching. And here's the end of the fight, Joe, where he lands just a solid shots upstairs, a right hand followed by a left hook, and it was a body shot, I believe, that caught his attention again. There it is. See, it was a body shot, a right, a left, and then a right. Those shots to the solar plexus and the liver really get you.
Let me educate you a little bit, my friend from Southern California, on the fine Hudson Valley tradition of boxing of upstate New York, an area that has produced Dave Ziglowitz and Kevin Rooney and Shannon Miller and Joel Scott, Verno Phillips, and one Michael Gerard Tyson, as well as Teddy Atlas and Joe Tessitore. Now comes Mikey Faragon.
I see where you were going. I see where you were going with this one, Joe. But we got Oscar De La Hoya and Sergio the Latin Snake.
Yeah, we're not going to trade resumes anytime, but a little pride for the 518 area code. Mikey Faragon, now 16-0 with 7 knockouts. For the official particulars, we send it up to the ring to Donald DeNoyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes and 32 seconds of the second round, referee Raul Caiz Sr. has stopped this bout. Your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Michael Babyface Faragon.
Our main event is coming up next, and it is a good one. Tim Coleman and Vernon Paris. You have never heard trash talk quite like this. Perhaps the biggest grudge match in pre-fight interviews we can ever record. Mikey Faragon applied the pressure in round number 2, gets himself the win. Our main event coming up, but first another visit with Jonathan Coachman in the Friday Night Fight Studios.